Evening and welcome once again to Gaming Under the Influence. I'm Mike here with Alex, coming to you from GreenDragonCVR in Woodbridge to talk about video games. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good. Thinking that it's getting close to the Game of the Year awards once again.
Yeah.
2023 is already coming to the close and
kind of creeping around the corner, right?
Yeah.
So suddenly.
It
my
is.
God, how did we get here?
It's been a year densely packed with incredible games. We talked about multiply over the past few months, but I think now things coming to a close, the end is in sight. We can speculate a little bit about what Game of the Year nominations are going to look like.
Absolutely.
I know it's going to be a little bit of a controversial year because there's a lot of people who feel some things were great that I don't think should have been considered.
Yeah.
But even things that were well received, there's some mixed reception concerning them, like Lords of the Fallen. So yeah, it would be cool to just discuss where we think stuff is going to land.
Yeah, it's a very complicated year, and a part of that is just because of the sheer amount of
quality of things.
Exactly, right? So
such that you could have something pretty good before you and you're like, is this going to be Game of the Year? I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's so many.
Stuff that by rights should be considered up there is exceeded in other ways by something else. So I don't know, why don't we just drop a bunch on the table and then we can talk about what...
Drop a game.
I think in the first place, Hogwarts Legacy is going to be nominated at least for something.
For something, yes.
I don't think definitely doesn't have the best story, maybe not the best, mechanics or anything like this, but overall is just a gesture of world building and realizing an artistic vision, I guess you could say, a fictional world instantiated in a playable medium. Man, it's just... very cool.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful game. Yeah, I probably expressed before that the actual plot and the story and the characters weren't the most compelling to me.
Yeah, it was a little bit lacking.
The world,
for sure.
The realization of Hogwarts and the surrounding area, and wow, the castle and the, like I said, the surrounding area and the wildlife and the dark wizards and going to Hogsmeade and all of these things, flying around on a broom, man. Wow.
Yeah, that was really cool, actually.
Wow.
One thing that movement's very important in an open
just
world
incredible
game. So
incredible. All the actual systems and exploration, just the actual open world, it blew me away. I even thinking about it right now, it makes me smile. And the room of requirement and how you can farm animals and place things wherever you want.
Wow.
There's even some base building elements. It's truly an expansive and incredible game.
I forgot how good that was.
Yeah. If the only shortcoming I can think of is the writing is kind of meh, the plot, it's not that. To me, it's barely a ding against what is otherwise just an incredible game.
Yeah.
Anyways, I can go on about it forever, but I think for these reasons, just as an act of world building, how beautiful and cool it is, and how it's so enthralling just explore that game. I think it has to be nominated for something.
It'll be up there for something for sure.
And it's a pretty good combat system too. It's fun to play, right?
Yeah.
What about you, man? What do you think?
I want to be polarizing and then throw Forspoken in there. I think some of the similar reasons for Hogwarts Legacy, it didn't have I enjoyed the story, and I know you said you did too, but I think a lot of the complaints were that people didn't really enjoy the story.
Didn't like the character,
didn't like the character exactly. But I think it had a phenomenal combat system.
Me too.
Probably was better than
great action game. Better than 16.
Better than Final Fantasy 16.
Definitely.
So I think it'll land there for action game or something like that.
Better than 15 too. Incidentally, which inspired it in many ways. You could see the lineage there, but I think Forspoken was a great game and it deserves to be nominated for something. But I hope it is. I'm suspicious.
I hope so too. I know.
Yeah.
I'm throwing it in there for sure because I think it deserves it. But
also, I enjoyed it.
That is to be seen what the panel and everybody else thinks.
We'll see how it unfolds.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. I really hope Forspoken is on there too.
What else do we got? Armored Core 6 is probably going to be all over that.
Yeah, I think it will.
One game, I think
it's going to be for sure. Yeah. I think honestly that one's going to be nominated for Game of the Year probably.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
But it will definitely be filling out a number of other categories too. Action game, it'll have some, art direction. Perhaps it'll be nominated.
Yeah, I think it'll land somewhere there. Maybe Game of the Year. I want to say yes, but I feel like
it'll be nominated.
Yeah, I feel like Armored Core wouldn't have the same appeal as an Elden Ring or broader.
Maybe not the broad appeal, but the same way Death Stranding didn't have broad appeal.
Yeah, true.
What was nominated?
And it was nominated.
It's made by FromSoft. Yeah, it was well received, and it's.
Yeah, you're right. I want to see it there. So that's not in question.
Too.
But
I think though, based on the even the fact that it successfully revived a franchise that's been dormant for a while.
True, it's
probably going to be nominated for Game of the Year, but most definitely for action game and for a number of other things.
Yeah. Agreed, yeah.
And it should be. It's incredible. We expressed
great
multiple
game.
times. Yeah, incredible how they both conceptually maybe fictionally in terms of the world building, I'm impressed by how they managed to tell such a cool story and build such an awesome world from the vantage of a guy inside of a robot the whole time.
Yeah, true.
There's still characters with motivations that you care about. Like it's pretty cool, right?
Oh yeah.
It takes the whole codec call format to another level.
That's true. Maybe that's why I liked it so much. I was just saying how much I love Metal Gear Solid for the codec calls and the conversation. Yeah. It's very similar in that sense. I love it.
That's the whole storytelling.
Awesome.
And then on top of that, it's awesome FromSoft gameplay.
Yeah.
You know, it does have some elements similar to Sekiro, even with the brake meters and there's dodges and stuff like that. It has all that stuff, but it's its own thing, man. It's a robot fighting game. You can float around and blow people up with rockets and stuff.
It's very awesome. Fast paced. You're just zipping like back and forth. And running. It's just so much different than a Souls game, but
very much so. But it's got the same attitude behind it, perhaps.
Yes.
Very few lifted mechanics, but overall, it's got its own thing.
And,
great FromSoft game.
Pretty frustrating as well. They throw in a little bit of frustration,
it's not an easy one until maybe late game when you settle on a build. But even then, you're going to hit roadblocks.
Yes.
That interrupt your smooth sailing. So. Yeah, I do. Your smooth progress. I do think Armored Core is going to be nominated for Game of the Year, but also for a number of other things. I guess I would tend to agree. What do you think about Octopath 2?
I think Octopath 2 will not land on Game of the Year, but I think it'll be on some of the categories.
Probably RPG of the Year, and definitely art direction. I think.
Yes, exactly. Stuff like that. The art style is beautiful. The HD 2D style that Square Enix coined over there. I think it's amazing, and it's a good way to like modernize, but also make pixel style games, right? Like I wish like Pokemon would do something like that. You know, in that style, like kind of keep that older style isometric with the pixel graphics, but it also looks modern and beautiful, right? It's well done. So
it allows the art direction to speak.
It really flourishes. Yeah, exactly.
So man, I agree in that,
Octopath will definitely be there in some form, whether it's like RPG or like you said, art style, art direction.
That's right. Remnant 2, of course.
Remnant 2 is
going to be on a couple of lists.
Right.
Also. Yeah, or a couple of. It's going to be nominated for a couple also.
Yeah, I think
a couple of categories. Yeah, probably Action Game of the Year, multiplayer potentially.
Yeah, maybe.
Co-op Game of the Year or whatever the category is. Yeah, something like this.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty innovative as a Souls-like even.
Do they have a category for Souls-like?
No,
probably not,
they
right?
Don't. I think they lumped them into action or RPG.
Yeah.
Probably Elden Ring, it would be more RPG, and Sekiro would be more action, but either way, they don't have a separate one. I don't think. They should now. There was enough this year alone if you put the 2D and 3D together to consider its own category.
Did we say Final Fantasy 16?
No, we didn't. But I think it'll be up there for sure.
That'll be somewhere. I don't know about
that'll
Game
be
of the Year.
nominated for Game of the Year.
That'll be,
I think so, yeah.
It'll be somewhere for sure. I feel like it belongs more in the action than RPG because it had some RPG elements, but those took a large backseat in terms of it. It was
like
mostly
what even makes one of these categories the other. Distinguishes one of these from the other these days. It's hard to tell, right?
True. But I think it'll fall in the action category. Maybe Game of the Year, you're right. Probably stuff like Best Score, maybe.
Yeah.
That one it should probably win, actually. Had a great soundtrack.
I know we probably are reticent to mention this, but I'm sure this Spider-Man game is going to be nominated.
Oh, Spider-Man will be there, yeah.
I'm just going to put it out there that I refuse to play any Marvel game. Don't even want to get into that, but
just leave it at that.
It's like it doesn't exist. So I'm sure it'll be nominated, but I would rather it just be forgotten.
Touche.
Yeah. That'll be up there though for sure.
Yeah,
that'll be on pretty much every list given its critical reception, its sales,
you think?
The popularity of the brand. Yeah, it'll definitely be on every list. Yeah.
Starfield should be there somewhere.
Starfield will be an RPG.
You think? Yeah,
but it won't be nominated for Game of the Year. At least it shouldn't be.
I don't think it should be either. Yeah, you're right.
It's not bad, but it's not that.
Yeah.
It's a good game. Decent game. It's got some low lows, buddy. Some disappointing elements.
That's the problem.
It's like it's like lukewarm water. It's like being in the bathtub as it's getting cold, and you're like, this is not uncomfortable yet, but it's not the greatest.
It's not
it's kind of meh. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Like, there's few games, I guess, where you could fly around and build a ship and
Yeah, it had
really that's it. I don't know what else to say. There's few games where you can build a ship.
Stuff going for it, but not
every other thing that it does is just pretty much inferior to what inspired it, right? Like, it's one thing that I can't believe is how was No Man's Sky a meme when it came out? for the ridiculousness of its barren planets, but this game is like not that ridiculous in that same
I
way.
don't know.
Like the planets are so much worse. It's pretty preposterous.
Yeah.
Like there's some good things about Starfield, and I really like I've said here before, I like the themes.
Yeah.
I like the world building, you know, but
It feels like something's missing.
the
right?
characters and
Like,
the story are just not human. They're ridiculous.
it feels lifeless sometimes,
Yeah.
right? And not like it has no soul. It's tough to.
And when you come to the playing of the thing, like the temples, if anybody has played it, you'll know what those are awful. The planets are ridiculous. Like the final mission and boss is. I was offended by how stupid it was, you know?
That's never a good thing. Oh
this
boy,
is so dumb.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's like, instead of it being a game that makes you feel a sense of wonder, it's like, it's a game where a guy's like, wonder, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, wonder.
Oh, ooh. Look how cool. Check it out. Yeah.
It's nice building a ship, though.
Yeah.
That's my
fun.
favorite
That's
part about
fun.
Starfield, building a ship.
Building a ship.
Yeah, I read an article recently that said Cyberpunk 2077 makes me remember how bad most other games are. And yeah, like if you put Starfield and Cyberpunk next to each other, bro, it's just...
No, Cyberpunk blows it out of the water. It's
I can't believe
conceptually
Cyberpunk...
infinitely better, right? Like
the funny thing is, like, if you were to ask somebody, they would say that Cyberpunk is worse than Starfield in
probably,
this popular
you're probably
sense, right? Like their impression of it is that, you know, Cyberpunk was bad. And
a lot of people were soured out on that game right away and never recovered because of that media push at the beginning, right? And funny thing is, here we are now. The DLC just launched, and I was gonna say my next
now it's cool again.
pick is probably this Phantom Liberty DLC for maybe best DLC or whatever it can be nominated for, because I haven't played it yet, but from all accounts, I played the update, and apparently the DLC is amazing.
I'm a big believer
as well.
in Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh, 100%. I liked it since day one.
It's a masterpiece.
Great game, yeah.
Now
100%.
people playing this Bethesda garbage fire game.
It's not even not.
They're gonna say, yeah, you know, it is a much better game. It's a much better game. Like even the world building when it was glitchy, apparently to other people.
You're saying Cyberpunk? Yeah.
Oh
Cyberpunk,
yeah, it's a much better game.
Okay, yeah, 100%.
Especially, man, the characters in the world, dude.
Yeah.
I was saying, remember, I spent, I don't know how long I played Starfield, like 35 hours or something like that.
Fair enough.
I spent 35 hours with the characters. I hated them so much, I walked around with the robot all the time. You know? The robot, bro. I just was like, you know, you guys can stay at home. You're idiots.
That's such an
Sarah,
insult
one of them died, this character, Sarah. I was like, I don't even care. I don't, you know?
Sarah dies? What the
No, in every game, somebody dies.
Oh.
It's different in each one. In mine, it was Sarah, and I just... didn't care.
Oh, I see.
You know?
Okay.
I was like at different points just telling her I hated her, telling her I was in love with her. I was like, whatever, man. Telling the robot I was in love with him. There's a cowboy, and you're like, why is this guy a cowboy? The themes of this game even.
So
like,
bizarre, right?
It's so like...
So bizarre.
Yeah, anyways, I don't want to get too deep into it beyond that. But
That's okay.
yeah, it does, you know, then you go play Cyberpunk. I booted it up after Phantom Liberty released and played for a couple of hours, and I was like, in 10 minutes, bro, you meet Jackie and you care about him more.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The people in Starfield after the whole game.
That's true. There's so much more like life. That's the best way to explain
it's
it.
Alive.
Like,
They're real characters.
crazy,
They're not like, hello, I'm Sarah. I'm a part of this,
That's,
you know, like...
That really is a problem with Starfield, and probably, you know, one of the reasons I would say I hope it doesn't show up on too many of these lists. 'Cause
it will.
While there are good things about it and impressive stuff there, but largely just feels, even when you compare it to like a Skyrim or something, like just feels dead and lifeless
it's funny because
comparison, right?
My initial impressions of it were positive, and I still think those parts were positive, but as I've moved further away from,
because you're
it,
seeing the world,
I'm just like
then the world is cool, like on first glance, getting to cities, seeing you know, space flying around, like it's initially
once you reflect
impressive,
on it, though, I'm just like, what is like all of these, there's different factions and stuff like that, but they don't really, their divisions are as superficial as those between the factions in Mass Effect. It's another one of these
kind of exists.
It's another one of these world building exercises where the developers can't possibly imagine that anyone in the universe could have a political or a social vision different than their own, essentially. There's different, slightly different variations of late stage capitalism and democracy. It's very strange, you know? Of all the people gone out to settle in the solar system, everybody pretty much lives like we do.
Like,
you know?
yeah, exactly like us.
Not even like other people in the world right now. No, literally like us, right? Like
Yeah, it's kind of lack of creativity, right? It doesn't really make you feel good about it.
Yeah, it's depressing in that respect.
Have we gotten Lies of P yet? That would probably be
I was saving that for the last.
right? Yeah,
that's my game of the year for sure.
That's your
without
game of
any
the year?
reservation.
Without-
Armored Core or that are my games of the year.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I think Armored Core. It's a tough one. You know, I love both of these games, but Lies of P definitely has been more impactful for me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, way more involved experience.
Fair
And I
enough.
really like. It's definitely my game of the year, but it may be something even more than that for me because I can't remember the last time I had to change my approach to things so much to get through a game. You know?
Wow.
I saw people beat it in like half. It's taken me almost 60 hours. I saw people beat it in like half the time. Probably just using different methods to get through the bosses that don't really require it.
Well, a little bit like summons and what else do you have on your throwable items? Okay, fair enough.
Very much make every they can make the so much easier. So
And you're
much easier.
taking it the macho way,
Well,
right?
It's just I mean to play the way that it's fun. Like I feel like it's like learning a musical instrument.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I don't want to like just blast through it. That's not what you're playing.
Yeah,
Like,
you want to master it. It's awesome, dude.
I never even master it. Go watch my attempts are so imperfect and ruinous. Like
True.
I get slapped around so hard, and every time,
So you're
almost
just like-
every boss, I never have any healing left. I'm
You
like
just fluke
fucking
it off, yeah.
just barely get through every single time.
I do that in a lot of Souls games.
It's not like
so
I definitely
that's-
don't perfect it, but like I
Yeah,
try to learn to, and you parry a few of them, and you get hit a couple of them, but you're trying to like use the systems the game offers you to get through this, to the encounter. In Dark Souls that means like rolling, because rolling is your get out of jail free card in every situation.
Yes,
right?
that's right.
Here that's learning to perfect parry. You can't
parry,
roll
yeah.
through everything. They switch the roles of those things, right?
True.
In Souls you can't parry everything. Here you can't dodge through everything. You have to learn to parry it, right? So in principle you can go in and learn to parry every single boss
True, yeah.
and beat it just that way.
Very
beat
much
it by
like
parrying
Sekiro,
it.
yeah.
So I like that, right? It's a level of I don't even competence with the thing that to me suggests a comparison to learning a musical instrument, right? And while other Souls games are like this, Lies of P demands a different level of commitment to be able to play it in that manner, right? Every boss for me has taken hours,
True, yeah.
multiple days worth of playtime. Like
That's intense.
multiple, like I split that up into a few days, of going at it. I play for an hour and a half, put it down, right? But yeah, it really reminds me of my first time playing Souls and having to just change your way of looking at something.
That's awesome.
And the world building, like coming around to it at the end, it blew me away. Like it's so good, man. It's ridiculously good, and it's a beautiful game too. I think it's made an Unreal 4 or 5. It's a beautiful game.
Oh, it's definitely Unreal 5, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't played it, nearly as much as you, but on early impressions, I would be inclined to agree.
Yeah.
And I want to say also Armored Core for me is one of my picks for Game of the Year, 100%. And I kind of want to throw in Zelda, a big enough evolution from Breath of the Wild that they kind of took the same game but like expanded it and made
this one.
and they made it a little bit darker and a little bit more involved. Like they added a new dimension with your tools for like the physics
system,
engine, exactly, for moving items and stuff. So they kind of expanded on some of the building that they haven't in that game. And
I didn't like Breath of the Wild, as you know, but I like this one. It's a big, for me, a cool game.
Yeah, I think
I haven't finished it or even really broached it yet. I played it maybe 15 hours, but it's so big. But
same.
I do want to play more.
Yeah, I definitely want to get more into it, but it seems on all accounts to be conceptually enough that they've added that makes it like worthwhile of a sequel, not like doesn't feel like it's like a DLC or it's tacked on.
Huge
they added
iteration.
Sky Islands, they added
a lot of stuff,
underground map entirely. The whole thing is just
way more expensive.
It's bigger than I want it to be, and that's why I ultimately haven't played enough. But
way more
it's incredible in its own right.
Even the moment-to-moment systems are radically different.
Yeah,
radically with all that physics stuff, right?
Yeah. So
the only thing I don't like about these two Zelda games, the real thing holding me back is just the tedium of certain things.
Yeah.
Like so many shrines, the goofy puzzles. Like I don't like that kind of stuff. I really like the world though. I like this one especially. Like it's so charged with like mythological and religious imagery and themes. Like it's exactly up my alley. I just temples and like there's such a slog for me.
There's a lot, I know, and that's ultimately why I haven't gotten enough. But
I know, I feel you.
Gotten through enough of it. But
my wife is playing it too, and she's done over 100 of them, and she's had to put it down for a while. So
yeah.
Over 100. What?
It's crazy.
That's bizarre, man.
It's a lot.
You don't have to do them all, right?
No, you're not even really. I mean,
you're not expected to. It's not even.
No.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm the kind of person that when I'm playing games like that,
Same. I did all 120 shrines of Breath of the Wild, and that's why ultimately I probably haven't played as much Tears of the Kingdom as I should have. But it will be there, and I think it deserves to be there. And even
it does.
In some categories, even if it's not Game of the Year necessarily. But I'm throwing it in because
I'm sure for most people it'll be way more a Game of the Year thing than Armored Core Lies of P, because it's more. It's not an easy game by any means, but it's more accessible, and everybody's. My 12-year-old cousin would have played it. You know?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it. That's a pretty exhaustive account of anything important, really, isn't it? We didn't miss anything.
I don't think so.
Anyways, thank you guys very much for tuning in, and we'll see you for the Game of the Year awards.
Yeah.